Hi there, this is Kelsey with the University of Minnesota-Crookston. Today we are going to talk about completing the square. So if you have a problem that says write 3x squared plus 9x plus 5 in the form a x minus h in parentheses squared plus k, what would we do? Well, we have an equation in general form and we need to get it into what's called vertex form. And so we need to complete the square. So in order to do that, I'm going to write this out as y equals 3x squared plus 9x plus 5. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this 5 over to the other side just to get it out of the way for now. And so I have 3x squared plus 9x. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out that 3 from both sides, or excuse me, from both terms. And so I have then x squared plus 3x, and I'm going to leave a little bit of space. So now I have essentially a brand new problem with just this part here where a is 1, b is 3, and then we need to figure out what is our c term going to be. Well, that comes from negative b over 2a, or in this case, since our a is 1, just negative b over 2 squared. And so our b was 3, so negative 3 over 2 times a, which is 1, gives us 2. And then we square that. So that becomes 9 over 4. So that's what we're going to add now in that little blank space that we left. And so that's why it's helpful to have just a little bit of extra space here. So we add 9 over 4. Now, think about it though, we need to do what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So because we added 9 over 4 to the right side, we also need to do something to the left side. But it's not just 9 over 4. It's 3 times that 9 over 4. So over on the left-hand side, I guess I should have saved myself a little bit more room, we have 3 times 9 over 4. And let me write this out now. We've got y minus 5 plus 3 times 9 over 4, or that would reduce down. What would that reduce down to? Well, 9 times 3 is 27 over 4. And then on the right-hand side, we've got 3 times x squared plus 3x plus 9/4. All right, now what we need to do is we need to factor. We need to factor the part that's in parentheses, this part here. And this should factor to what's called a perfect square. And so we've got this over here. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead. This is 20 over 4. So negative 20 over 4 plus 27 over 4 gets us 7 over 4, just to simplify that out. And then this should factor into a perfect square, which means that we need factors of 9 over 4 that add up to 3. Well, that should give us 3 halves. So 3 over 2, 3 over 2, 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 2 is 4, and when you add 3 halves plus 3 halves, you get 6 halves, or 3. All right, now if you're not super strong with fractions, that's okay. You can take your time doing this, or better yet, if you had a problem with all whole numbers, this would be a lot simpler. But just for complexity and a little extra fun, we're doing it with fractions. All right, so notice now we can actually write this as a square with the parentheses plus here intact, and then we can write a square on the outside. And then our last step is to bring that 7/4 back to the other side. So we've got x plus 3 over 2 squared, and then minus 7/4. And now we have it in the form that we want. We have it in what's called vertex form. And from there, we can read off the hk, the vertex of the equation of our quadratic. And we've now gone from general form to vertex form by completing the square.